Hey PC World fans, Adam here with resident GPU expert Brad Charkis. On our weekly podcast, The Full Nerd, we get a lot of questions, and you can get in your questions during a live show or in our Discord, but for this video, I kind of want to cover something that people ask a lot. And that is people who just want to know, hands down, what is the best GPU that you can buy right now if you're gaming at 1080p? What's your take on this?
Before we even start, I just want to say that I really like that question because you asked me around the display resolution.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that a lot of people don't consider when they're buying graphics cards. You 100% want to tailor it around whatever your monitor is capable of. Because it's real easy to spend a lot of money on a graphics card that you will never see an actual performance on your monitor. So you got to keep that in mind. We're just going to do a quick overview here. I have a very long article on PCWorld.com that you can go and see more in-depth things if you want.
I will link to it in the description.
The go-to, our current Editor's Choice Award winner, our current recommendation for 1080p gaming is NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 1660.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's GTX, not RTX, so it won't have any of the fancy ray tracing technologies that you might have heard about in the news and playing games and stuff, but it kicks all kinds of butt for 1080p gaming. It'll give you over 60 frames per second, which is the golden standard for PC gaming, at 60 frames, 60 hertz monitors, which is the standard. Vast majority of people in the world are running 1080p 60 hertz monitors.
Right.
6 gigabytes of RAM, plenty of future-proof. It's just good to go.
So you're saying for almost the majority of gamers out there, which are pretty much on 1080p 60 monitors, the GTX 1660 is going to be enough for them, or is it going to be a little bit of a future-proof?
There's enough of a future-proof in there. You'll be able to keep everything on Ultra right now and play it and hit 60 frames per second. It's good. Nice. It's what you want. Games always get more demanding as time goes on. This will last you a good few years.
Okay.
So, like I said, it has 6 gigabytes of RAM. It's good to go. NVIDIA now supports AMD's FreeSync monitors. So if you have one of those many monitors that you buy these days, just kind of have FreeSync baked in. So you can get Adaptive Sync Gaming, which basically synchronizes the graphics card and the monitor to eliminate stuttering. So NVIDIA's cards work with FreeSync and G-Sync monitors. So it's good to go.
That's awesome. And what if you're somebody who has a 1080p panel that does a higher refresh rate? Is this still going to be good for that, or?
Yes. Well, if it would still be fine. It would be fine for it. But if you have a higher refresh rate, if you're looking at like 120 hertz, 144 hertz, somewhere around there, those are more common. You might want to consider jumping up to the 1660 Ti. So the same card, but with a Ti at the end. It's just a faster graphics card. It does much better at maxing out those faster monitors. If you really wanted to peg it, you could also jump up to an RTX 2060, but those cost $350. Sometimes you can find them a little bit cheaper. It's a bit overkill unless you need every single possible frame.
And what's your take on going and buying a 1660? Because obviously there's a ton of different manufacturers. There's even NVIDIA makes reference cards. Like, how do you pick between the different manufacturers? Are all 1660s created equal, or?
They're not all created equal. Typically, custom coolers, the more you spend, the better it is. Typically, it varies. It depends. NVIDIA actually doesn't make a reference card of the 1660, so that eliminates that right out of the equation.
Okay, I had no idea.
In general, the big guys are typically good. MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, they do solid work. EVGA is a good brand that focuses specifically on NVIDIA products, and they have good warranties. I like to recommend people go EVGA, but a lot of these graphics cards are good. I would recommend getting a dual axial blower, so with 2 or 3 fans. Unless you have a very small PC, you'd want to get a blower style card, which has a single fan and shoots out the hot air out of the back.
Okay, that's all. And this is all the kind of information you get into your article. Yeah. Like Brad said, if you want to dive deeper into this subject and for more up-to-date things, because this is just as of this time that we're recording. So, but you're updating this thing constantly as things come out, right?
Yep, I do. Whenever there's any news, whenever there's any new reviews, I keep this up to date. Been keeping it up to date for years. It's good to go.
Awesome.
It also includes information about AMD's Radeon RX 570, 580, and 590, which are very compelling 1080p graphics cards as well. They're not quite as powerful as NVIDIA's options, but they have tremendous value proposition because they are much cheaper. And you can start playing 1080p gaming with medium to high settings for about $130. That's pretty cheap with the RX 570.
Wow.
About $180 will get you 60 frames per second at medium, high, some ultra settings with the RX 580. They're good options. You can find them on sale a lot. So.
And in the past, they've had good bundles with games, right? So
Yep.
maybe
And
even
you-
save a little more off of that. So that's a good option.
Yep.
And yeah, like I said before, we talk about all this kind of stuff on the Full Nerd. So definitely be sure to tune in weekly for that, or subscribe on YouTube, on anywhere you listen to a podcast. But thanks for answering this perennial question that a lot of people have for me.
Anytime. I love to help.
All right, and thank you. We will see you later.